Okay, so this is part 2 to my previous video, so please go back and check part 1 before you watch this. It will make a lot more sense. But anyway, I was talking about how the Carolina Panthers are 14-0, just like the 1972 Miami Dolphins that won the Super Bowl. But then the Patriots also were 16-0 and went to the Super Bowl, whatever. But for whatever the reason, I just thought of this right away. When I thought of Miami Dolphins again, I thought of Ace Ventura because Ace Ventura has to save Snowflake, the Miami Dolphins mascot or whatever. So anyway, it turns out that the dolphin is stolen by an ex-player named Ray Finkel, who's actually a transgender that becomes the cop that he kind of works with, even has sex with or whatever, Lois Einhorn. But Ray Finkel was mad at Dan Marino for uh, having the laces incorrect on the field goal kick that he missed and whatnot. And I really need to go back and watch this movie as well. It's been a long time since I've watched this movie. But at the very end, after everything's been saved, the Dolphins are playing the Philadelphia Eagles even at the end of this game. So who knows, there might be some subliminal things in the background and whatnot because they're playing the Eagles that I've mentioned so much. Just interesting, it's about the transgender, then we have Bruce gender and whatnot. I've talked about that multiple times this year as well. But in Gematria, Ace Ventura adds up to 56. Miami, Florida adds up to 65, the mirror of 56. Also, Philadelphia adds up to 65. Ray Finkel is the guy who missed the field goal. Ray Finkel adds up to 56 and 101. Philadelphia, the big way, adds up to 101. Also, in the movie, this guy right here is who Ray Finkel was portrayed by in the pictures of the movie. And that's his name. He's a German guy. His name adds up to 56. This guy was even born in 1956. So I'm sure that movie has a lot of coding in it. Just don't have the time to go watch everything. Anyway, maybe I'll watch that movie eventually again, but I wanted to talk about the royal family again. Royal Family 56, I just discovered. We talked about this is Queen Elizabeth's dad, and he died at the age of 56. And I talked about how he was coronated on the same day as the Philadelphia train wreck this year that's been super coded. Also, it was 78 years ago. There just seems to be a lot of things connected to the number 78 and the royal family here. So first off, this guy died on February 6th, kind of like 2/6/26, and Queen Elizabeth, his daughter, took over as the queen. And she was 25 years old in 1952. 25 and 52 are mirrors. She was also born in the year 26. She was even coronated on 6/2/62 years ago. The word queen in Gematria even adds up to 26 and 62. But how it connects to the number 78, so 1952 to 1978 is a span of 26 years. So Queen Elizabeth's 26th year as queen was in the year 1978. If you put 1978 in Gematria, it even adds up to 101, just like the word Philadelphia, but also the 26th prime number is 101. Interesting, Queen Elizabeth's mother died at the age of 101 even, and she was born on the same day as Barack Obama, but she was born 61 years before Barack Obama. She also died on the 89th day of the year. Queen Elizabeth is 89 years old this year. I even made a video a long time ago tying into her and Queen Elizabeth's sister, so this lady's daughter, Princess Margaret. Princess Margaret died exactly 49 days before her, and they were both buried on April 9th, kind of like 4/9/49. Also found it kind of weird. Queen Elizabeth's mom died at, it says 1515. Just interesting that this is 2015. Just stuck out to me. 1515. The word 15 in Gematria adds up to 65. Just like Philadelphia the small way, but also United Kingdom adds up to 65. Also in regards to the 78 then, It seems like a lot of things have been coded to Princess Margaret all year, even the train wreck stuff. Her birthday was on August 21st and whatnot. And the reason I mentioned that was because of this French train attack that happened, where the one guy was the one military guy. He was even from Roseburg, Oregon. I mean, give me a break. The Roseburg, Oregon shooting happened on the same day Jimmy Carter turned 91. It was actually 10-1, 101, like Philadelphia. And also, there was 91 days left until the end of the year that Jimmy Carter turned 91. Anyway, find it kind of interesting. So, Princess Margaret was the first person in the royal family to get divorced since Henry VIII. And when Henry VIII got divorced, he got banished from the Catholic Church, and that is what began the English Reformation. So interesting, he was the last person to get divorced, and then Princess Margaret was the next one, and she got married on 5/6 of 1960. So 55 years ago. Remember, the word 56 even adds up to 55. Also in 2016, it will be 56 years. And she got married on 5/6. It'll be 56 years ago. But even more interesting, she got divorced then on July 11th, 7/11, or 11/7, 1978. So Queen Elizabeth's 26th year. This is also the Pope that banished King Henry VIII or whatever. King Henry, he died at the age of 56 as well. King Henry VIII died at the age of 55. And also, I'm saying banished, but the real word is excommunicate. So he was excommunicated. Excommunicate adds up to 56. Henry VIII adds up to 65. So, Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth's dad then, he became king on December 11th, 1936. Just interesting because Pope Francis was born 6 days later. He was born on December 17th, 1936. And he was 78 years old all of this year until December 17th when he turned 79. Also interesting, they had a whole bunch of articles about Pope Francis's birthday, and a bunch of them, the headline said that he was 80 years old, but then when you read the article, it said he was in his 80th year of life or whatever. So just kind of interesting with the 80 that I've been talking about, with the Miss Universe and whatnot, 80 contestants on a day that adds up to 80. Pope Francis also born on a date with 65 numerology, also 84 numerology. Obama was even born on 8/4. His name in Jewish gematria adds up to 84. Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope. Jesuit adds up to 84. I think United States of America adds up to 84. And also 65 here. Also, he's the first pope from South America. He's from Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires adds up to 56 and 65. Also, Jesuits are the Society of Jesus. Society of Jesus adds up to 56. So Pope Francis was 78 all this year. The guy before him, Pope Benedict, he became the Pope at the age of 78 in 3 days. So he was 78 years old, and then 3 days later he became the Pope. He's also 88 years old. We talked about that number a whole lot, dealing with Back to the Future. That's the speed to make time travel possible or whatever. But this guy was made Pope, or Cardinal, by Pope Paul VI. And this is the guy that JFK met and then died 143 days later. He also just so happened to die in the year 1978, and he was one of 3 popes in the year 1978. The next one was Pope John Paul I. This guy really sticks out to me as well. He was only pope for 33 days in a year that there was 3 popes. He died on September 28th, 1978. An interesting day, I guess, because that's the day of the blood moon this year. September 28th was the the day of the final blood moon of the tetrad. Also interesting, there's the full moon on Christmas this year, the Christmas moon or whatever, and that's 88 days after this day. But this guy just seems super connected to Pope Francis. I've talked about the assassination of Pope Francis, Queen Elizabeth, Barack Obama, or all three, or a mix or whatever. But this guy, age 65, his real name is Albino Luciani. Albino Luciani adds up to 59 and 122, just like Pope Francis. Interesting with the year of 3 popes, and he dies at 33. He was 3 popes before Pope Francis. Also, that makes him the 263rd pope. The 263 is the 56th prime number. Also, Pope John Paul, when Pope John Paul became his successor or whatever, he declared this guy a servant of God on November 23rd, 2003. Interesting day, November 23rd. We've talked about how on the Roman calendar that could be like 9/23, or it is 9/23 on the Roman calendar. But November 23rd is 56 days after this guy died. So, there you go. It's 56 days. It's also, it was in 2003, so it was 25 years ago. I'll just show you that really quick. But 25 years, also an interesting number dealing with the Queen and whatnot. But 25 years, 1 month, 26 days, or 25 years, 56 days. Also in Gematria, Servant of God adds up to 56. Also interesting, the first time that the year of 3 popes happened was in the year 827. I've talked about this before with Pope Valentine. I talked about him because of the word Valentine and the love reference and the foreshadowing to Valentine's Day that they did with Teen Wolf and all kinds of stuff. This guy was also born, or became Pope, on August 31st. That is a day with 122 days left until the end of the year. The 122nd day is May 2nd, 5252. 52, the 52nd prime is 239. It's the 239th year of the United States. Lots of other stuff with this. Princess Diana died on August 31st as well. And she was born in 1961 and died 61 days after her birthday. Also, the year 827 is 1,189 years away from 2016. You know, there's 1,189 chapters in the King James Bible. Pope Francis surrounded by the number 404. His name in Jewish Gematria adds up to 404. He even arrived at the United States at 4:04 p.m. on his 923rd day as Pope. The King James Bible came out in 1611, 404 years ago. Also, the book of Revelation has 404 verses. So also, this one was 373 years after the last one then. Interesting, you know, right now it's 37 years ago from 78. But also, 1605 to 1978 is 373 years, which is the 74th prime. Just sticks out a lot. Just like, it's kind of like 3773, the mirrors. And in Gematria, 74 is a pretty special number. Masonic equals 74. Jesus, Cross, Muhammad, Joshua, Yeshua. There's tons of other ones. I mean, just think about the nation's independence, the United States, 7-4, like July 4th. Queen Elizabeth became queen 74 days before her birthday, and 74 days after her birthday is July 4th, 7-4. Her husband is even 1776 days older than her. So who knows, I guess we'll see what they have in store. Just kind of interesting, there's a lot of 56 and 78 and whatnot. I'm just going to end this video on some other interesting things that I found in Gematria, and we'll call it a night. So, have a good one. Check out some of these Gematrias. Well, I guess I only have time. I'm going to talk about this one. So this will be the next king of England if Queen Elizabeth dies. His real name is Charles Mountbatten Windsor. Adds up to 313, just like the Mark of the Beast, 306 score and 6. It's also the same day that Pope Francis became the Pope, 3/13 of 2013. Anyway, have a good one.